Vampires in Vermont. You don't think you would notice that, but here in Bennett Cemetery, located in Dummerston, Vermont, is the original case of the Spalding family. And I'm Paul Dolsky, and you're watching Haunted Vermont. Lieutenant Spalding, the man behind the story of the vampirism here in Dummerston, Vermont. Lieutenant Spalding, or John Spalding, was a Vermont legislator, senator. He was also in the military for the French and Indian War and the American Revolution. However, though, when 1793 came around, it wasn't such a great year for the Spalding family. Spalding here is by himself because, unfortunately, in the other cemetery at Dummerston Center Cemetery, he had to be buried here because over there it was so damp that the land could not be dug. So, unfortunately, here he is, and we're going to show you the other family. But right now, you just got to think, John here had so much of his family taken by consumption, and that the only thing to do was to dig up their grave of their family and find a very creepy root. And if that wasn't enough, they had to bury their loved ones and then had to re-dig them up because they wanted to make sure they were dead. And if they weren't decaying and they found blood, vampires. And what did they do next? They took out the organs and burned them if they were full of blood. So here we are at Dummerston Center Cemetery with the remainder of the Spalding family's grave. Now, what makes this interesting is Mary here was the first one to die. And then from there, it was Esther. And then as we go on to the remaining plot, this is where the mysterious creepy root comes into play, because if Mary was the first one to die and the creepy root mysteriously was growing between grave to grave, so that would mean Mary here was where the root maybe grew, then sprouted over to Esther, which then caused the root to somehow start coming this way to take out the Spalding family. And at one point, they finally decided that they're going to try to cut the root, and that's what they did. And what makes this more interesting is that the curse supposedly stopped. The cure was found, was cutting the mysterious root. And then so forth of digging up the bodies and checking to see if there was any blood in them or anything, some sort of signs of decay. If they didn't show signs of decay, then they would totally think it was vampirism, especially if they found blood on the mouth or even in the organ. They would presume that whoever the family member was just literally got fed and now is resting because she's full of blood. And that's where they would dig it out, burn the heart and organs, and that was it. And even then, that's what they believe helped cure vampirism back in the day. So you gotta think, back in the days, these family of Spalding would try anything just to cure the family of the curse. What would you do?